Football fans, what if I told you that Michael Carrick outsmarted Mikel Arteta in a tactical masterclass that no one saw coming? Let's dive into yesterday's explosive Arsenal versus Manchester United match, where 5 goals, critical errors, and a stunning display of strategy unfolded. This wasn't just a game, it was a chess match, and Carrick played his pieces perfectly. Arsenal fans, brace yourselves, this one's tough. For United fans, savor this moment, because it's a blueprint for success. Now let's break it all down. Once the starting lineup was announced, it was clear Arsenal was struggling. During the half-hour pre-match segment of my exclusive live stream, I make predictions, right? As soon as I saw the starting Ixians, I told my members, this prediction is straightforward. Arsenal have no chance of winning. Even if they score, it'll only be from a set piece. So it all came down to whether Michael Carrick could steer United to victory, and that depended on whether United played aggressively or sat back. If they defended deep the whole game, it'd end in a draw. This Arsenal side isn't Manchester City. If you sit back, United's counter-attacks won't be as lethal as they were against City. Arsenal's ability to disrupt counters at the first point is far superior to City's. For United to win, they needed to increase their attacking frequency. Simply sitting back and countering wouldn't generate enough chances. My suggestion was to press high, speed up the tempo, and create more opportunities to exploit Arsenal's fatigue and pace issues. Because I spotted a weak link in Arsenal's lineup, Martin Zubimendi. Before the match I said, if United target and press Zubimendi, he'll gift chances. I said it with absolute certainty. That prediction was spot on. This player had already made at least 2 costly mistakes against Inter Milan, and recently he's looked exhausted. In my post-match analysis, I've explained before, Zubimendi has been crucial for Arsenal's Premier League title push this season, a rare deep-lying playmaker. But even the sharpest blade dulls with overuse. Maybe in a few seasons he'll overcome this, but in his debut Premier League campaign, it's inevitable. In December he visibly struggled. This is called the first season in the Premier League syndrome. The Christmas schedule is brutal, something La Liga doesn't have. Remember when Rodri first joined City? Same issue. Overused, and by December he was making mistakes. Zubimendi's case is obvious. His form dipped sharply in December. He started in the Champions League and the congested fixtures have drained him. So I suggested before the match that Arteta shouldn't play him today. I could tell he was at his physical limit. His movements increasingly sloppy. With Declan Rice improving as a distributor this season and Arsenal's attacking patterns no longer requiring Rice to drift wide, I'll explain later, there was no need to risk Zubimendi today. But guess what? Zubimendi started, so my prediction hit the bullseye. United pressed occasionally in the first half, and Zubimendi immediately coughed up a chance. Did you see it? His movement fell apart. William Saliba passed to him, and under minimal pressure, he fumbled, his body slow to react, leading to a disastrous misplaced pass that Bryan Mbeumo capitalized on. During my pre-match analysis, I also said United's first scorer would be either Mbeumo or Amad Diallo. In the second half, United wrapped up their attacks quickly for the second goal, and we saw Zubimendi's declining mobility and defensive lapses again. By halftime in our live stream, I told members Zubimendi should be subbed off at the break. But Arteta didn't do it, so one mistake in the first half, another in the second. Then there's Leandro Trossard, who isn't quick, starting after a Champions League game, and Gabriel Jesus, neither are pacey. Seeing this lineup, I immediately said Arsenal can't win tonight. It depends on how Carrick sets up United, whether they press. I even mentioned, even if United start defensively, if Arsenal take an early lead, it might force United to press more, leading to a comeback. That's exactly what happened, though it wasn't Arsenal's early lead that triggered United's response, but Carrick's well-calculated plan from the outset. This wasn't some fluke. Carrick's setup was masterful, more on that later. This video's first half focuses on Arsenal. Early on, Arsenal struggled against United's compact shape because they didn't target the half spaces as I'd suggested. Their opener was pure luck, a hopeful long ball, a weak clearance from Patrick Dorgu. and a chaotic scramble forcing Lisandro Martinez into an own goal. After that, United's occasional pressing forced another Zubimendi error, though it was still 1-1 at that point. Arsenal had chances to avoid defeat in the second half, but they never exploited United's half-space vulnerability. United's 4-4-1-1 against City was airtight, but City's only unpunished avenue was the half-space. That's United's weakness. So before the match, I said Arteta's ability to exploit this would decide Arsenal's fate. In the starting 11, Martin Odegaard and Declan Rice, operating near the box, are both inverted, making it harder to play penetrating passes into the half space. You need natural width. While the fullbacks can overlap, they're defenders, too far from the action. At half-time, I said besides subbing Zubimendi, Arteta should bring on Eberechi Eze and Mikel Merino, natural wide players to attack the half spaces. Instead, even after 4 changes by the 56th minute, Eze and Merino stayed inverted. Seeing this midstream, I was furious. I wanted to slam Arteta. Their positioning killed any intent to penetrate, leaving Arsenal relying on set pieces. Today, Bukayo Saka's deliveries were poor. Again, fatigue. Their 2-2 equaliser at the 84th minute came from another scramble. Arsenal had thrown everything forward, but it wasn't enough. With those substitutions, the only question was whether United would win. Arsenal were done. Arteta's only move was shifting Saka to the left. No real plan. Now, why United won? Mid-game, it wasn't clear if United had the upper hand. At half-time, I said since United didn't lead, if Arteta adjusted well, Arsenal could still score from a set-piece. United were at risk. Their pressing was minimal, relying on Zubimendi's mistakes, and they didn't accelerate the tempo to exploit Arsenal's fatigue and pace issues. It didn't feel like a winning performance. Then, out of nowhere, 2 long-range strikes, seemingly individual brilliance, unrelated to Carrick's tactics. Many United fans asked, was this luck, Carrick's genius, or Arteta's incompetence? Live, I couldn't tell, but re-watching the match, I noticed Carrick's subtle brilliance. First, a disclaimer. Carrick's 2 wins so far haven't involved breaking down a low block. To judge him fully, we must see how he handles Fulham next. But for this game alone, he deserves praise. High pressing to exploit Arsenal's fatigue would have been the obvious approach, but only if United had the stamina to sustain it. Arsenal's build-up is the league's best. Half-hearted pressing would backfire, so if you can't do it properly, don't. Carrick weighed the options and chose not to press, because they couldn't. He likely considered how Ruben Amorim's grueling 3-4-3 had exhausted the squad in the first half of the season, leaving no energy for heavy metal pressing. I've explained this in past analyses. Carrick knew he inherited Amorim's mess. If pressing wasn't feasible, forcing it would be reckless. This shows his pragmatism. He doesn't chase low-percentage gambles, yet many coaches would have resigned to parking the bus for a point. Carrick refused. That's the surprise. He deployed a tactic I didn't foresee, but it achieved the desired outcome. His pre-match plan. He obviously identified Arsenal's weaknesses, but realized direct pressing wasn't viable, so he opted for an indirect approach. Less flashy, lower odds, but effective, if executed right, waiting for bonus opportunities. Here, the bonuses were Arteta's blunders and United's players overperforming in long shots. Without those, the indirect approach might have gone unnoticed, but at least he tried, showing his refusal to settle. What did he do? Controlled possession in their own half to avoid a stamina crossover. What's a stamina crossover? Initially, United were fresher, but prolonged defending drains energy faster than possession-heavy play. Arsenal's slow build-up would have conserved their stamina, eventually making them the fitter side. Arteta's ideal scenario, sustained pressure, leads to defensive lapses. Carrick avoided this by refusing to sit deep indefinitely. How? By building from the back whenever possible, retaining possession and resetting the tempo. Of course, this relied on Arsenal's pressing being subdued due to their fatigue and European commitments. Carrick exploited this to implement a higher risk strategy. He also instructed players like Victor Lindelof and Martinez to go long if pressed aggressively, only playing out when safe. So, in the first 30 minutes, when Arsenal pressed, United stayed compact. Their possession dipped below 40%, even under 30%. But as Arsenal's pressing waned, United shifted gears, explaining why they were defensive early, but grew into the game, avoiding the stamina crossover. With no fear of fatigue, they could push for a win, picking moments. They didn't recklessly commit men forward. They circulated the ball deeper, only advancing when a clear chance emerged, finishing attacks within 5 seconds to avoid Arsenal's counters. Brilliant. Minimal risk, maximising Kobbie Mainoo's quick link-up play, evident in the second and third goals. Mainoo wasn't as sharp as against City, but his assist for the third was crisp, clinical decision-making. Amorim never got this from Mainoo because he stubbornly stuck to 3-4-3. Carrick, refusing to accept limitations, used indirect but effective tactics, waiting for his bonuses. Even the long-range goals might have been planned, not pure luck. Why? Because Arsenal's defence, world-class, nullified United's counters. Mbeumo couldn't replicate his City performance as a target man. United couldn't break through, so long shots became the only option. Hence, practicing them was logical. Likely part of Carrick's pre-match prep, the subtle shift in United's approach between halves. Early on, they tried feeding Mbeumo to run behind, but when that failed, they deliberately kept the ball away from Arsenal's backline, operating just ahead of it, using quick 1-2s to set up shots. Probably a half-time adjustment. Arsenal's defence, primed for counters after studying the City game, was caught off guard. Carrick had said pre-match, today's tactics would differ from the City game. Initially, I saw no difference, but re-watching revealed nuances. Against City, they purely sat back, not needing possession. Here they actively sought it. Why? City's defensive line is vulnerable to counters, so direct attack sufficed. But Arsenal's superior defence demanded a different approach. Carrick didn't treat both teams the same. Despite both being Pep-style systems, he tailored his plan. Shades of Ferguson. Arteta, meanwhile, had no such adaptability. Carrick outclassed him by refusing to accept limitations. Substitutions mirrored the City game. Matthias Cunha remained a super sub, ideal since he doesn't fit a back four starting flank. Bringing on Benjamin Šeško as an aerial target for the third goal was partly forced by Patrick Dorgu's cramp. Some luck involved, but Arsenal's goals were luckier. Also, neither handball call against United should have stood. Dorgu's arm was tucked in before his goal. Rules state that's not a foul. And Harry Maguire's slide used his arm for balance, also legal. After United beat City, City lost in Norway. Some said Carrick only beat a weakened City. Here, despite Arteta's mistakes, Arsenal were close. Without Carrick's setup, United might not have won, especially at the Emirates. Arsenal's defence is elite. If even they lose to United, you can't dismiss Carrick's wins. He did his homework. Some Amorim fans claim he'd have beaten City and Arsenal too. Spare me. Did Amorim ever show this tactical nuance? His rigid 3-4-3 never gave Dorgu these attacking roles. Under Amorim, he was deeper. Amorim's wins last season relied on Bruno Fernandes' penalties and luck. These two wins. Tactical mastery. Amorim couldn't crack the top four. Carrick did it immediately. Amorim fans now say the scores were his signings, even if true, he couldn't use them. Frank Lampard bought Chelsea's Champions League winning squad. Did anyone credit him? Amorim's fans, really just Ten Hag haters, have made him a laughingstock. I've always targeted them, not Amorim. They'd rather United lose to prove themselves right. I criticised Amorim for United's sake. Now, who's vindicated? Final points. Will Arsenal collapse after this? Past meltdowns stemmed from costly errors, but Zubimendi's mistakes are fatigue-related. Rest will fix him. With squad depth, rotation can stop the bleeding. If Arsenal stay steady against weaker sides, they'll stay in the race. City aren't invincible, they're juggling multiple competitions. Arsenal can sustain title-contending form longer. Can United mount a title challenge? Fans, stay calm. 2 big wins don't make a season. United have always excelled in marquee games. consistency against smaller teams like Arsenal's is key. Can Carrick switch from 4-4-1-1 in big games to 4-2-3-1 against low blocks, e.g. Fulham? Dorgu isn't a reliable focal point against packed defences. Mbomo isn't a target man. If Carrick starts Šeško centrally next game, with wingers stretching play, there's hope. But not for this season. Arsenal are too solid. Next season, with a Casemiro replacement and improved build-up, United could contend. For now, it's premature. We haven't seen Carrick break down a low block, but his adaptability already surpasses Amorim's. Thanks for watching. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe to show your support. Bye.